How the 49ers exited this horrible season in such a good situation and such a great setup is genuinely beyond me. I'm excited to get into that in this video. And I think it's going to have you pumped heading into the offseason. If you're new here and you're looking for daily 49ers content, hit that subscribe button because that's how you tell YouTube that you want more of this. And thank you so much for joining me in my epic Honda Accord over here. The audio is not the same. The video is not the same, but I have to work late tonight. This is the best I could do, and I had to get this info out to you because I'm just so hyped on it. Shout out to my guy, Robert Chang. I forgot his name. Saying this, the 49ers will continue to fall short of winning another Super Bowl if they continue to neglect putting together a top offensive line. I'm really comfortable with that idea, minus one slight thing. We did get, with the mid-ranked offensive line, to the Super Bowl last year. Just 2023, not that long ago. I get there's a difference between winning and getting there, and I get that the offensive line was somewhat responsible for losing, but I do feel like you could put the same thing on the defense. You could put everybody had some bad plays. So I think you could put it on just about anybody but Juwan Jennings, right? So as far as yes, in general, I agree with you, and sorry if the camera gets kind of glitchy today. Just ignore it. I agree with you in that sense. I'm going to keep reading, though. The game is won in the trenches on both sides of the ball. It means drafting well and signing free agents rather than plugging in journeymen or players at the end of their careers. It is important to be able to move the chains and be able to extend plays. Agree. Finding a franchise quarterback is rare, but being able to protect the quarterback gives an average quarterback an ability to become an elite top 10 quarterback. The importance of fortifying the defensive line means more possessions, a better efficiency in the red zone. The 49ers, if they stay focused on improving both sides of the ball, can be relevant in 2025 season. They will definitely benefit from an easier schedule, but also need to be galvanized in an extremely competitive NFC West where they went 0-6. They didn't actually go 0-6 this season in the NFC West, but I get the point that you're trying to make here. So, in general, I agree with you that I do think the trenches are kind of the most important thing, and we do have to handle that. And I think the 49ers are in an incredible setup for something like that. By the way, I put Kelvin Banks back on the screen per your comment because we got linked to him again by PFF. So it does seem to be one of the players that a lot of folks think the 49ers are linked to. There are a lot of other players the 49ers have been linked to, and I'm not even suggesting that you think they need to make a first-round move on the offensive line, but I do agree with you. We need to fortify the trenches. I think all of us are on the same page about that one. I don't think we have any disagreements there. Now, PFF did some advanced metrics for drafting. They do this every year, and the advanced metrics are really interesting because they take into account more than just the number of draft picks. So the Cleveland Browns have the highest draft capital, bar none, but the 49ers come in ninth just in draft capital, and that includes several metrics. I'm not going to get into the details today because I just want to give you the short snippet. This is my lunch break. I just wanted to talk to you guys, and I wanted to make sure I had a chance to get this video out there before the end of the day. I'm going to have to figure out when I'm going to process it and all that good stuff. But here's the thing, okay? Ninth doesn't sound amazing. It sounds good. And that's just the situation that's playing out for the 49ers. But it's actually better than that if you keep looking at the metrics. And this is now the draft capital versus the true cap space. And where you want to be on a chart like this is in the top upper right-hand quadrant, okay? If you can be in the top upper right-hand quadrant, you're in a really good situation as a team because that means that you have excellent draft capital based on the same metrics you saw in the last one, as well as you have true cap space or a high true cap space as well. So you're in there and you're only seeing a handful of teams. And when you look at those teams, just look at the teams for a second and tell me which team you backed to be the best coming out of the draft and into the next season in terms of personnel, okay? Do you think the 49ers are going to be better than the New England Patriots and the Raiders and the Jets and the Bears and the Titans? I do. I definitely think the 49ers can be better than all of those teams. And I mean, in terms of a roster setup and a personnel, I think we vastly underperformed based on our current skill set. We were a little bit slower, which does tell me that age is becoming a real factor and we're an older team and we need to get that sorted too. But in general, my point being, if you're in the upper right-hand quadrant over there, if you're in the upper right-hand quadrant and you can find a way to draft well with your projected 12 picks that the 49ers have in this draft. I think this draft is going to be monumental for the 49ers, and they don't even have to hit on all of their picks in order to make it particularly valuable. If they can hit on 70% of their picks, they'll do more just by default than what your NFC West rivals like the Cardinals, for example, will only project to have 5 picks this draft. So as far as I'm concerned, and to your original point, commenter, appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for all of you for commenting on the videos and getting your insight out there. I really love reading your guys' comments and seeing your takes. I think it's super interesting. And it's cool to see kind of the wide range of takes out there as well. I feel like the 49ers are in a great position. There's one more chart I want to show you though, while we're talking about this, okay? This is another chart, and this one shows like all of the stuff you saw before plus the restructure potential. So when you factor all of that in plus restructure potential, the 49ers are actually 7th ranked. So thank you PFF for doing insanely detailed analysis and running tons of metrics, some of which, as I was reading the article, I didn't even understand. So I'm stoked about that. I feel like if you just look at this chart, it gives you, again, another picture, a lot of the same teams kind of in the mix there of where the 49ers stand as they plan for the 2025 draft. And I think the point that I want you to pick up today that I am really interested to hear what you have to say on is that the 49ers are in a great position. And if you take a great position with a great management team, general manager, a great front office, right? I think that between free agency, between an already incredible star-studded roster that underperformed, that will perform better next season by default, no doubt, and you add to that a great 2025 draft, or at least the opportunity for an incredible draft with more off-season time to prepare for the draft with a great schedule going into the next season, everything is setting up perfectly for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm hyped on it, and I can't wait to see what you have to say in the comments. Appreciate you, and I hope you have a fantastic evening.